Hi there. So, what I decided to talk about today is a subject that I'm sure many of you have probably heard a million times in the last year and a half. And at this point, it's probably just as controversial as the subject of religion and politics. That subject is the coronavirus vaccines. Uh, where do I begin? This is such a controversial theme in the media today, in the trends, and in society because there's a group of people who believe that the vaccine is a good thing, and there's a group of people who believe that the vaccine is not a good thing. Personally, I'm not anti-vaccine. I'm pro-safe vaccine. So I believe that the right precautions and the right studies must be met before you can mandate or implement a vaccine on people. I don't agree with the idea of mandating the vaccine because I feel that it's something that hasn't been studied fully yet, and it still requires a lot of undergoing investigation. Personally, I know people who have passed away after they put the vaccine. So, I mean, at this point, what is the purpose of wearing the vaccine if technically you can still get the virus and technically you can still even pass away with the vaccine? I know the chances are less, but then again, that's a chance that people should have the option and should be willing to take. Well, it shouldn't be a mandate to have to wear a vaccine that you don't want to wear, but at the same time, there's a debate on public safety versus my personal rights as a person. So it's a very head-on-head topic. And many people are obviously against the vaccine. I would say at this point, most people have probably put it, but then again, they've probably just put it because the media's been pushing this left and right. Pushing it through commercials, through ads, even publicizing other people's death to try to get people to put the vaccine. Because this is at the end of the day what the media does. They control people through masses, and they want to get everybody to do something. This is what they do with hurricanes. This is what they do with pandemics, as you see. This is what they do with shootings. This is what they do with just about every other issue going on in the world and society. They they create this panic and this fear over something that is not as big as they're making it out to be. So with that said, personally, I I refuse to get the vaccine right now. I refuse to get it right now because I don't. Number one, I'm very anti media pressure and just that whole idea of the media. Everybody, every time the media, there's a hurricane coming, and even though it's like 3 days away, the media drives people insane to the point that they freak out way ahead of time for a problem that it's it's probably not gonna happen. I'm not saying this is the way that we should go about the vaccines. I'm just saying we should probably inform ourselves a little more before we just jump into getting a vaccine because the media is telling us that if we don't get the vaccine, we won't die from it. Because the reality is that people have died after they put the vaccine, regardless of what the media has said or has not said. The CDC hasn't even released these vaccines for standard permanent use. They've actually only released it for emergency authorization, basically to put a halt on the spread of the pandemic because they are very effective to a certain degree. But what people don't understand is that everybody's body is different. So how your body reacts to a vaccine may not be how my body reacts to a vaccine. My body, you may put the vaccine and nothing happens to you, while I may put the vaccine and I end up on the ICU after I put the vaccine because my body has a completely different reaction to the to the vaccine itself. It is not the complete virus in the vaccine, but it is a certain components of the virus going inside your body to create the antibodies necessary in order for your body to fight the virus. Show you got it. But then again, if you get the virus, after you survive the virus, you also build the antibodies. So that's another argument that people have all the time. I don't know where to take in that because I don't know what's better at this point, to either put the vaccine and get the antivirus and risk whatever effect the vaccine may have in your body, or to catch the virus, nothing happens to you, and then you build the antibodies anyways. I mean, some people have caught the virus more than one time. They caught the virus 2 and 3 times, and some people have got the COVID virus the first time nothing's happened to them, and then the second or third time it's been worse. And then obviously over the last few months, you've heard all the negative trends about the J&J vaccine, which is obviously by far the worst one of the three. Moderna has also had a lot of concerns. Pfizer has ultimately been the best one, but still, there's been several cases reported and of people that have encountered rashes, a partial blind loss, partial hearing loss, a bronchitis, and all other sorts of different negative effects on the body, regardless of age or demographics or any other type of demographical biological factor. So I don't really know what to think at this point. Plus, they'll go ahead and they'll say one thing 1 second, then the next second they'll change it up and say something else. At first they said, you only had to inject 2 shots. And now they're saying that a third booster shot may be required. So, I mean, what are we, like guinea pigs in a lab? And then you just putting vaccines in people, experimenting what can happen to their bodies? No, I don't exactly agree with that. I understand that, obviously every death is a tragedy, but the truth is that the mortality rate of this pandemic is nothing compared to the pandemics of the past, regardless of how many medical advances we have today or how much scientific knowledge we've achieved. Because the mortality of this virus is literally less than 8% compared to the last pandemic we had over 120 years ago. The mortality rate was 80%. I'm not justifying that that's okay. I'm just saying that we are making the media, as people, we are making this to be a much bigger thing than it really is, to say the least. I agree with the people that want to put the vaccine for their safety, and I agree with the people who don't want to put the vaccine because they don't trust it, like me. I don't trust the vaccine. I don't agree with mandates. I think that we're adults, we're people, we have the right to choose with our life and our body what to do, and that should never be up to the government, or should never be up to any institution or any scientific professionals or any governors or any employers or any school principals or board to mandate absolutely anything on us, because if you're gonna go ahead and claim this First Amendment bullshit of freedom of public safety and all that, well, I can go ahead and claim the same thing, because it is, constitutionally, I have a right as a human. I have a personal decision. I have a free will. If you're gonna mandate me to put a vaccine in order to keep a job, you're kind of infringing my right, because obviously I need to pay my roof, I need to pay my condo, I need to pay my life. So you're obviously infringing my personal decision and my right as a human to say no to this vaccine by telling me that if I don't take the vaccine, I either have to quit my job, or in other words, I can't work for your company if I don't wear a vaccine. Why should I have to make that decision? It's my life, it's my choice. It's not anybody else's. If you want to feel safe because you think, if you want to feel safe, then why don't you wear the vaccine? Put the vaccine, and that's your take on it, and you'll feel safe, and that's your decision. But what I can't stand is when they try to make everybody do the same thing because, they feel a certain way, and I don't agree with that. I think if you want to travel, we should be able to travel. If you want to work at anywhere, we should be able to work anywhere. If you want to do absolutely anything, go on a show, go to an amusement park, go to a dance contest, whatever it is that we want to do on a plane, we should be able to do it without having to take the vaccine if we don't want to take the vaccine. It's up to, everybody's opinion is different, but this is my opinion on it, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people out there agree with my opinion, because let's face it, a lot of people are not vaccinated, and if you're not vaccinated, it's obviously you've got your reasons why you don't want to get vaccinated, and I don't know what those reasons are, but I'm pretty sure many of you have very legit reasons why many of you are probably very educated folks, and you have very legit reasons why you don't want to get vaccinated. I believe my reasons why I don't want to get vaccinated are legit, and it's for that reason that I will not get the vaccine until I don't want to get the vaccine.